Hey everyone, welcome to this powerful video. Our topic today is not just important, it might be the most important decision you ever make for your peace, your success, and your survival. Today's video is titled, How to Focus on Yourself. And I want you to stay with me until the very end because this video is not just advice, it's a mirror. A mirror that will show you how much of your life you've wasted caring about people who never cared back. A mirror that will reveal the truth. You've been giving your energy to everything and everyone except the one person who actually needs it. You. This is not about being selfish. This is not about ignoring others. This is not about becoming cold or arrogant or distant. This is about survival. Because if you don't focus on yourself now, you'll continue to live a life built on guilt, distraction, emotional exhaustion, and invisible pain. You'll keep answering messages that make you feel empty. You'll keep showing up for people who wouldn't even notice if you disappeared. You'll keep giving your time, your heart, your soul to people who give you nothing in return. And you'll wonder why you're always tired, why you're stuck, why you don't feel like yourself anymore. This is why this video matters. Because somewhere along the way, you forgot that your life belongs to you. Not to your critics, not to your parents, not to your followers, not to the people who ghosted you, not to the ones who hurt you, not to anyone who makes you feel like you're too much or never enough. This is your sign to come back to yourself, to reset, to restart, to finally focus on your peace, your growth, your energy, your mind, your future. And in this video, I'll take you through 11 of the most powerful, brutally honest, and life-changing steps to help you do exactly that. Every step in this video is a truth bomb. Not sugar-coated, not fake positive, not Instagram inspiration. Real, honest, transformational. Because this is the video I wish someone had given me when I was lost. When I was chasing people, when I was overthinking every word I said, when I was shrinking to keep others comfortable. So if you're tired of feeling drained, if you're done being ignored, if you're ready to finally become the main character in your own life, this video is for you. This video will not only help you focus on yourself, it will also improve your English. As you listen, you'll learn powerful vocabulary, emotional expression, and how to think clearly in English. Take a deep breath. We begin now. Step 1. Understand the importance of self-focus. The very first and most important step is this. You must understand why focusing on yourself is not optional anymore. It is urgent. It is essential. It is the only way forward. Because here's the truth. If you don't focus on yourself, someone else will control your focus for you. And once they control your focus, they control your decisions. They control your time. They control your emotions. They control your life. When you were a child, you were taught how to listen to others, how to behave, how to follow, how to please. But very few people taught you how to listen to yourself. So you grew up believing that your life was meant to revolve around others, making them proud, keeping them happy, earning their approval, chasing their validation, answering their expectations. And slowly you forgot how to focus on your own needs. You forgot what makes you happy. You forgot how to be still. You forgot how to ask, what do I want? And now your mind is full of noise. Noise from social media, noise from gossip, noise from toxic people who only want your attention, not your healing. But here's what most people never realize. You will never build the life you want if your mind is constantly controlled by the lives of others. Think about it. How can you create your future when you're still focused on your past? How can you build peace when you keep letting people disturb your silence? How can you discover yourself when you never spend time alone? This is why self-focus is not luxury. It is survival. It is your way of saying, I'm done giving 100% to people who give me 10%. I'm done waking up for others and falling asleep with regret. I'm done breaking myself into pieces to keep others whole. Now, some people will call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're ignoring them. They'll try to guilt you for choosing yourself. But remember this, when you start focusing on yourself, the people who are using you will be the first ones to complain. Let them. This is your life, not theirs. Your peace is not up for discussion. Your growth is not a group project. Your energy is not public property. And here's the real power. When you truly start focusing on yourself, you begin to heal faster. You think more clearly. You attract better people. You stop chasing what isn't meant for you. You finally feel free. That is why this step, understanding the importance of self-focus, is the foundation of everything. Because until you truly believe that you matter, you'll keep letting others decide your worth. And the more you focus on yourself, the less you'll need anyone's permission to become who you were always meant to be. Step 2. Why talking less leads to greater results. Let's be honest, most people talk too much. Not because they're confident, but because they're afraid of silence. They talk to prove themselves. They talk to be liked. They talk to fill the awkward space in their head that says, if I stay silent, maybe they'll think I'm boring or dumb or weak. But here's the truth no one told you. Silence is power. When you talk less, you listen more, observe deeper, think smarter, understand faster, and control the room without needing to dominate it. Let's go even deeper. Talking too much comes from insecurity. You feel the need to explain yourself, to justify your choices, to prove your intelligence, or to fill the silence so no one gets uncomfortable. But ask yourself, why are you working so hard to be understood by people who don't even understand themselves? Why are you over-explaining your life to people who won't remember the conversation tomorrow? Now, here's what happens when you start talking less. You gain clarity. You're no longer distracted by the noise of your own voice. You stop exposing your plans too early. People can't sabotage what they don't know. You become unpredictable. And in this world, mystery is a weapon. You protect your energy. Words cost energy. Silence protects it. You increase your impact because when you speak rarely, people listen deeply. Let me give you an example. There are two types of people in a room. One talks constantly. The other listens, observes, and speaks only when necessary. At first, everyone watches the one who talks a lot. They dominate the attention. But by the end of the meeting, everyone respects the one who said very little. Because when that person finally spoke, their words were sharp, clear, focused, and powerful. Their silence built tension. Their few words created impact. This is how leaders move. This is how strong minds operate. This is how self-focused people protect their peace. Stop talking about your dreams. Build them. You don't need to post every move on social media. You don't need to tell your cousin about your next plan. You don't need to explain to your old friends why you're disappearing. Let them wonder. Your silence should not be emptiness. It should be construction. While they're busy gossiping, you're building. While they're updating the world, you're upgrading your life. Stop giving free access to your emotions. You are not a book for everyone to read. You are not a therapy center for people who disappear when you need them. You are not a microphone for other people's opinions. Start talking less about what hurt you, who ghosted you, why you're changing, what you're planning, or where you're going. Instead, start watching, start learning, start working, and start growing. Your next level requires less noise and more silence, less performance and more preparation. If you want to rise in life, protect your words. If you want to focus on yourself, limit who gets access to your voice. You don't need to say everything you think. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to correct every misunderstanding. You don't need to constantly explain who you are and what you're doing. You are not here to be consumed. You are here to create. So talk less, move smarter, build silently, and let your results be the loudest thing about you. Step 3. How to ignore negativity. You will never have peace if you try to control every insult, reply to every troll, or fix every misunderstanding. Learn to ignore, or stay broken forever. This step is simple to understand, but one of the hardest to practice. Because we're human. We want to be liked. We want to be understood. We want to prove our side. We want to defend ourselves. We want to scream, "That's not true," when someone lies about us. But here's the truth. If you react to every insult, you'll lose energy faster than you'll ever build it. Imagine this. You're building a beautiful home. Every day you lay one more brick. You focus. You work. You plan. You give everything you have. But every time a neighbor yells something at you from across the street, you drop your tools, you walk over, you yell back, you argue, and by the end of the day, nothing got built, except your anger. That's what reacting to negativity does. It doesn't defend your peace, it destroys your progress. If someone calls you a failure, does it make you one? If someone ignores you, does it mean you're unworthy? If someone criticizes you, does it mean they're right? No, it just means they have opinions. And opinions don't pay your bills. Opinions don't heal your trauma. Opinions don't build your dreams. Opinions don't matter unless you make them matter. This is why focusing on yourself requires you to develop emotional filters. You can't stop the world from being negative, but you can stop your mind from absorbing it. Here's how to build the skill of ignoring negativity. Mute to protect your peace. Unfollow pages that make you feel behind. Mute people who trigger you. This is not being rude, it's self-respect. Don't explain to people who already decided not to understand you. Once you learn this, you'll free yourself from so many emotional traps. Turn pain into purpose, not drama. If someone betrayed you, use it to become stronger, not louder. Watch your emotional energy like a bank account. Would you give your money to a stranger on the street? No. So why give your attention, your focus, your energy to random online haters or toxic family members? Learn the art of walking away without noise, without drama, without guilt. That's power. Some fights are won by silence. Some arguments are ended by absence. Some relationships are healed by ending them. Don't be afraid to protect your mind. Don't feel guilty for creating distance. Don't feel weak for choosing peace. When you stop explaining, stop defending, and stop reacting, you start healing. And you cannot focus on yourself while you are addicted to defending yourself. The world will always be loud, but you don't have to let it live inside your head. Train your silence. Protect your mind. Ignore what doesn't help you grow. That is what powerful people do. Step 4. The power of discipline and consistency. Let's stop pretending. Most people don't fail because they're unlucky. They fail because they can't stay consistent long enough to succeed. They start something but don't stick with it. They get excited but disappear after one setback. They feel motivated, but only when it's easy, fun, or new. But here's the truth. Success doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline plus consistency. Every single day, discipline is doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up at 6 a.m. when your bed is warm and your heart is tired. It's working on your goals when your friends are partying. It's saying no to distractions when your mind is begging for comfort. Discipline means no shortcuts, no excuses, no emotional drama. Just work daily, repeated, relentless. And it's not glamorous. You don't get applause for it. No one claps when you open your laptop instead of scrolling. No one congratulates you for making a healthy choice or studying in silence. But that's what makes it powerful. Discipline is the quiet war you fight when no one's watching that builds the loud success everyone later sees. Consistency is not perfection. It's not being the best every day. It's showing up even when you feel like the worst. It's repeating the process even on the days you feel like nothing is happening. It's watering the seed even when you see no growth. It's trusting the process even when the progress feels invisible. Think of bamboo. For years it shows nothing above the ground. You water it, you wait, still nothing. But one day, after years of silence, it explodes in growth, rising 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Not because it was lazy before, but because it was building underground, quietly, consistently, relentlessly. That's what your life will do if you have the discipline to keep going and the consistency to keep showing up. Why you must master discipline to focus on yourself. Because without discipline, you'll get distracted every time someone texts you. You'll break your promise to yourself every time you feel tired. You'll quit your goals every time you're not in the mood. You'll lose focus the moment things get hard. But when you have discipline, you stop reacting to the world. You stop depending on motivation. You stop chasing easy and start building strong. You finally take control of your mind, your body, your results. Discipline is how you stay loyal to yourself even when no one is watching. How to build discipline even if you failed before. Start small, but stay strict. Even 5 push-ups every morning builds self-respect. Don't break the chain. Track your habits. Don't miss 2 days in a row. Even a 1-minute version is better than skipping. Prepare your environment. Remove distractions before they control you. Silence your phone. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create a workspace that respects your goals. Learn to love the boring. Discipline is not about excitement, it's about repetition. When you master boredom, you master success. Discipline is how you prove to your future self that you're serious. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, you lose trust in your own mind. But when you stay consistent, even with small actions, you start to believe in yourself again. And once that belief is rebuilt, you become unbreakable. Step 5. How small habits create massive success. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Everyone wants a big life, big success, big income, big transformation. But no one wants to talk about what actually creates that kind of life. Tiny, invisible, boring habits done daily. You see, the world sells you the idea that success happens in a moment. One viral video, one big opportunity, one lucky break. But behind every overnight success is 1,000 unseen mornings of slow, small, repetitive action. Success is never loud at first. It's not dramatic. It's not magical. It's just habit. Let me show you how powerful small habits truly are. Imagine a plane flying from New York to London. If the pilot changes the angle of the plane by just 3 degrees, it won't land in London. It might end up in a completely different country. Just 3 degrees changed the destination by thousands of kilometers. Now apply that to your life. Waking up 20 minutes earlier, reading 5 pages a day, saying no to 1 distraction, drinking water instead of soda, spending 10 minutes reflecting instead of scrolling. These might seem small, insignificant, too easy, but over 1 year, 10 minutes a day equals 60 hours of improvement. 1 new word a day equals 365 new ideas. 1 workout a day equals total body transformation. 1 focused hour a day equals skill mastery. Tiny habits are the invisible architecture of massive success. Why this step matters for self-focus. You cannot focus on yourself if your life is built on chaos. Habits create structure. Structure creates focus. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates transformation. Without habits, you keep forgetting your goals. You rely on emotion. You burn out quickly. You feel stuck all the time. But with habits, your growth becomes automatic. Your mind becomes sharper. Your confidence rises. You begin to trust yourself again. How to build life-changing habits. Make them too easy to fail. Don't start with 50 push-ups. Start with 2. Build the identity before the intensity. Attach them to current routines. After brushing teeth equals meditate. After lunch equals read 1 page. Before sleep equals review your day. Track the wins, not just the failures. Focus on what you did right. Let the habit become part of your identity. I am someone who keeps promises to myself. Reward yourself, but not with destruction. Don't break your progress with cheat days that sabotage your momentum. Reward with progress, not poison. Your habits are your real identity. You are not what you say. You are what you do daily without an audience. The most successful people in the world didn't just dream big. They mastered the tiny daily actions that the world never claps for. So if you want a focused life, a strong mind, a powerful future, start with the next 10 minutes, then repeat it tomorrow, then again the day after that. That's how your life changes. Quietly, slowly, permanently. Step 6. Embracing solitude for self-growth. Let's be honest. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fill every quiet moment with scrolling endlessly through social media, calling people just to avoid silence, keeping TV or music on in the background, jumping from one distraction to another. Because silence, it forces them to hear the things they've been running from. But here's the truth. Solitude is not punishment. It's a doorway to growth. It's where you meet the real you. Not the version that performs for others. Not the version that hides behind a smile. Not the version that tries to impress. Just you. Raw, honest, unfiltered. Why do people avoid solitude? Because when you're alone, your distractions die. And when distractions die, your inner truth rises. You begin to hear the pain you buried, the voice you silenced, the dreams you abandoned, the truth you've been avoiding. Solitude doesn't create pain. It reveals the pain that was already there. But that's the point, because you can't heal what you keep hiding, and you can't grow when you're constantly surrounded by noise. What happens when you embrace solitude? Your thoughts become clearer. You stop reacting and start reflecting. Your decisions become wiser. You're not influenced by the opinions of others every 5 minutes. You regain emotional control. You're no longer chasing validation or addicted to attention. You connect to your true purpose. You remember what really matters to you, not what you were told to want. You begin to respect your time, your space, and your energy because you finally see your life as sacred. Solitude is not isolation, it's preparation. Think about this. Before every major transformation in nature, there is solitude. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly in a crowd. It hides in a cocoon, alone, quiet, and still. And then it transforms. A seed doesn't grow in noise. It's buried deep in silence, darkness, and patience. And then it rises. You're no different. You don't need more noise. You don't need more people. You don't need more conversations that drain your soul. You need more time in your own presence. But what if solitude feels painful? That's okay. At first, it might feel empty, awkward, even sad. But here's the truth most people miss. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because you're disconnected from yourself. You're not bored. You're unfamiliar with your own voice. The first few days, it might hurt, but eventually that silence becomes your teacher, and then it becomes your superpower. How to practice real solitude? Go on silent walks with no phone, no music, and no podcasts. Just walk and observe. Let your mind breathe. Take a disconnect day once a week. No social media, no conversations, just journaling, thinking, and being. Sit with your thoughts, even the painful ones. Let them rise. Let them pass. Let yourself process. Create one sacred space at home just for peace. No devices, no clutter, just a chair, some quiet, and you. The version of you that you've been searching for is hiding in your solitude. Solitude will break your illusions, but it will also rebuild your identity. It will show you what you've been avoiding and give you the strength to finally face it. You can't focus on yourself when you're always running from yourself. So stop running, start sitting, start listening, and start growing. Step 7. Accept what and how you are. Let's stop pretending. We live in a world that is addicted to comparison. Every scroll shows you someone who looks better, speaks better, lives louder, and seems happier. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start to hate the skin you're in. You feel too short, too quiet, too loud, too late, too early, too weird, too emotional, too different. But here's the truth. The fastest way to lose yourself is trying to become someone else. You cannot focus on yourself if you secretly hate who you are. You cannot grow if you believe you are broken. You cannot heal if you believe you're not worthy of love or success. The foundation of all progress is this one decision. I accept myself fully, honestly, and unapologetically. That doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop growing from a place of shame. Because growing out of shame sounds like, I'll finally be lovable when I fix this. I'll be enough once I lose this weight. I'll be happy if I earn more. Or, I'll be respected when I talk like them. But growing out of love sounds like, I deserve peace now. Even while I'm healing, I can love myself and still want to improve. I'm worthy today, not just when I achieve more. You are not a problem to be solved. You are not a project for society to fix. You are not a glitch in the system. You are a story still unfolding. And just because someone didn't understand your depth, just because they rejected your kindness, or just because they mocked your softness, doesn't mean you're the problem. It means you were offering gold to people who only value glitter. How to begin self-acceptance. Name your inner critic, then silence it. That voice that says you're not enough isn't yours. It was planted there. You can remove it. Celebrate your progress, not just perfection. The fact that you're even watching this video, trying to grow, proves you care. Stop asking the wrong people for validation. You don't need permission to love yourself. It's not a community vote. Look at your flaws with kindness. They are not failures. They are fingerprints of your story. You cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself that you love. Stop editing your soul to fit into someone else's box. Stop believing you have to change to be accepted. Stop thinking you're behind just because someone else looks ahead. Your focus will return the moment your self-hate ends. Because the person you've been trying to become is actually already inside you, waiting, hurting, begging to be loved. Not later, not when perfect, but now. So start now. Look in the mirror and say, I accept me even while I'm still becoming. That's not weakness. That's how healing begins. Step 8. Never stop learning, growing, and experiencing. Most people grow up and then they stop growing. They finish school, they get a job, they earn just enough to survive, and then they fall into routines that slowly kill the fire inside them. And they wonder why they feel stuck, why life feels boring, why they feel uninspired, unmotivated, unfulfilled. It's not depression, it's not failure, it's not fate, it's mental stagnation, the quiet death of curiosity. Because you're not supposed to stop learning after college. You're not supposed to stop evolving at 25. You're not supposed to repeat the same year 10 times and call it a life. You were built to learn, to grow, to explore, to stretch, to break your limits, to become more than you were yesterday. When was the last time you learned something new? Not because you had to, but because your soul needed it. When was the last time you tried something uncomfortable? Not to impress others, but to awaken yourself. When you stop learning, you become predictable. Your brain becomes lazy. Your dreams become faded. Your confidence shrinks. Your routine becomes your prison. But when you start growing again, even slowly, your entire life begins to shift. Not overnight, not magically, but powerfully. Most people confuse growth with performance. They think it means reading 50 books a year, earning 6 figures, posting success online, learning big words or fancy skills. That's not real growth. Real growth is invisible. It happens in private. It happens in silence. It happens when no one is watching. Real growth is choosing to stay calm when you would have exploded last year. Saying no when you used to say yes just to avoid guilt. Getting back up after falling apart again. Showing up every day when no one is clapping for you. Becoming more focused, less reactive, more intentional. That's the kind of growth that rewires your identity because learning sharpens your mind. It gives you purpose. It makes you harder to manipulate. It helps you protect your peace with better decisions. When you keep learning, you stay curious instead of bitter. Focus on your journey instead of someone else's. Get addicted to evolution, not validation. It changes your conversations. It changes your mindset. It changes how you speak to yourself. 4 powerful ways to never stop growing. Learn from discomfort. Start doing small things that make you uncomfortable, like asking questions, trying new ideas, or even saying, "I don't know." That's where real transformation begins. Start a 1% better journal. Every night, write one way you grew that day. Even if it's small, eventually you'll realize you're not stuck. You're just unnoticed progress. Expose yourself to new environments. Go places alone. Attend events. Watch documentaries. Change your scenery. It refreshes your mind. Be open to being wrong. If your ego hates correction, your mind will stay weak. Growth only happens when you're humble enough to say, "I have more to learn." Stagnation feels like sadness. Growth feels like peace. Most people aren't sad. They're stuck and they don't even know it because routine has become their comfort. So if you want to focus on yourself, don't just sit there overthinking. Don't just scroll, compare, and complain. Start learning. Start exploring. Start moving again. Because your next level is not found in the place you're in now. It's found on the other side of growth. Step 9. Practice everyday heroism even when no one sees you. Let's talk about something no one appreciates enough. The invisible victories, the private battles, the moments you survive that no one knows about. Because in a world addicted to attention, we've started believing that value only comes from being seen. That unless you're successful online, you're nothing. That unless people validate you, you're not growing. But here's the truth. The real heroes are not the ones with cameras in their face. They are the ones who keep going even when no one is watching, helping, or cheering. Waking up and getting out of bed while battling anxiety. Going to work when your mind is breaking inside. Taking care of your family while silently carrying pain. Smiling at others when you haven't smiled at yourself in weeks. Practicing your dream in silence, with no audience, no followers, no reward. That's what real courage looks like. Not fame, not followers, not applause. Silent consistency. You're not lazy. You're not a failure. You're exhausted because you've been a quiet hero for far too long. And now it's time to recognize yourself. Because when you start focusing on yourself, you often lose the crowd. You lose validation. You lose approval. You lose the fake likes. And when that happens, you might feel alone. You might wonder, does it even matter if I keep going? Yes, it does. Even if no one sees it, your consistency is changing you. Your private work is shaping your public future. You just haven't arrived yet, but you're on the way. How to practice everyday heroism in real life. Do something good today and tell no one. That one silent act of goodness is worth more than 100 noisy ones. Track your private wins, not just public ones. Write down the days you showed up when it was hard. That's your real resume. Don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight reel. They show the success. You live the discipline. You're not behind. You're just deeper. Celebrate yourself in silence. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You just need a moment of truth. I'm proud of myself. I didn't quit. If all you did today was survive and not give up, you've already done more than most people. So many people collapse at the first sign of difficulty, but not you. You've been showing up, carrying the weight, healing while hurting, working while doubting, dreaming while hiding. And still, you're here. That makes you a hero. Don't let the world define greatness by fame, wealth, or noise. The quiet ones who keep building even in pain. Those are the ones who become unstoppable. Step 10. You care too much, and it's destroying you. Let's get brutally honest. One of the biggest reasons people lose focus on themselves is this. They care too much. Too much about what others think. Too much about making everyone happy. Too much about being liked, approved, accepted, understood. Too much about fixing people. Too much about not being a bad person. And here's what happens when you care too much. You overthink every message. You replay every word you said. You blame yourself for everything. You carry guilt that doesn't belong to you. You shrink your needs to fit their comfort. You say yes when your body screams no. You don't live your life. You live in response to others. And over time, you burn out. You break. You forget how to breathe for yourself. You're a good person. You have a soft heart. You want peace. You want harmony. You want connection. That's beautiful. But when your caring turns into self-abandonment, you cross a dangerous line. There's a difference between kindness and self-destruction, between loyalty and self-betrayal, between being a giver and being a doormat. What does caring too much actually look like? You apologize for things that aren't your fault. They mistreated you, but you're saying sorry just to keep the peace. You're afraid to set boundaries because you're scared they'll leave, get upset, or think you're selfish. You try to save people who don't want to be saved. You keep showing up for people who disappear when you need them. You feel guilty for taking care of yourself. Every time you say no or choose rest, your mind fills with guilt. You feel responsible for everyone's emotions. You carry their moods, their reactions, their pain, as if it's all your fault. This is how silent emotional damage happens, not from abuse, but from overcaring. Because when you care too much, you ignore your own needs. You tolerate disrespect. You waste energy on the wrong people. You become addicted to external approval. You forget your own voice. You wake up thinking about others. You go to bed worried about others. You shrink your light to keep others comfortable in their darkness. And slowly, you disappear. How to stop caring too much without becoming cold. Pause before saying yes. If your body tenses, your gut clenches, your energy drops, it's a no. Stop betraying yourself. Stop explaining your no. You don't owe people a full story every time you protect your time. Let people misunderstand you. You're not here to manage people's opinions. You're here to live in truth. Remember, you are not their therapist, savior, or emotional crutch. You can be loving without being responsible for someone's emotional maturity. Check in with yourself. Ask daily, am I giving from love or from fear? If it's fear, fear of losing them, fear of being judged, fear of conflict, pause. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've been giving your entire soul to people who never deserved it. And now it's time to give that soul back to yourself. You can care. You can love. You can be kind, but not at the cost of your health, not at the cost of your peace, not at the cost of your identity. This is not about becoming colder. It's about becoming clearer. Because the truth is, if they truly loved you, you wouldn't have to destroy yourself to keep them. Step 11. Master detachment from people and situations. This is one of the most advanced emotional skills in the world. Detachment, not coldness, not indifference, not arrogance. Detachment is emotional clarity. It is the ability to say, I love you, but I don't need you to complete me. I want this, but I don't need it to define me. I'm committed, but I'm not controlled. If it ends, I won't break because I never abandon myself in the process. That's detachment. Why are we so attached? Because we build identities on things we don't control. A relationship, a job, a lifestyle, a plan, a person's validation, a future that hasn't happened yet. And then when any of it changes or leaves, we collapse. Because we didn't just lose the thing, we lost ourselves. This is why detachment is necessary. It's not about protecting your heart from love. It's about protecting your soul from destruction. It looks like you enjoy people, but you don't depend on them for self-worth. If they stay, beautiful. If they leave, you still remain whole. You work hard, but you're not destroyed by results. You do your best, and then release the outcome. You commit to growth, but you allow the timeline to shift. You no longer chase rigid expectations. You allow flow. You express your feelings, but you don't beg for reciprocation. You speak your truth and let others show you who they are. This is inner freedom because without it, you're emotionally tied to outcomes. You panic when plans change. You beg people to stay. You chase closure from those who already closed the door. You lose yourself in situations that are not meant for you. But with detachment, you remain grounded. You make better choices. You attract better people. You recover faster. You stop overthinking and start observing. You return to yourself. Pause before reacting. Detachment means responding with wisdom, not reacting from fear. Observe without judgment. Notice your emotions without letting them rule you. Let people go with love, not resentment. You don't need to hate them. You just need to love yourself more. Remind yourself, what is meant for me will find me. This is not spiritual fluff. It's emotional maturity. Detach from the story in your head. Sometimes you're not attached to the person, you're attached to the fantasy you created. You're not hard to love. You've just been holding on to people who can't love at your level. Mastering detachment doesn't make you heartless. It makes you free. Free to walk away. Free to breathe again. Free to choose yourself, even when it hurts. Free to live with less control and more trust. You cannot focus on yourself if your mind is chained to people, memories, and situations that are no longer in your life or never were meant to stay. Let them go. Let the old timeline collapse. Let your grip loosen. What's meant for you isn't hiding, but it can't reach you while your hands are still holding ghosts. Now take a deep breath. Look at where you are. You've made it through 11 of the hardest truths. You've faced the mirror. You've sat with pain. You've confronted what's been holding you back. And now you're not the same person who started this video. You are someone who has clarity, courage, control, focus, peace, direction, fire. Now it's your turn to use it. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. You don't owe anyone your energy anymore. You don't owe the past your loyalty. You don't owe pain your attention. You owe yourself one thing, a life that feels true. So go restart, go focus, go rebuild, go love yourself so loudly that the world hears your silence. And when you rise, rise without guilt, without fear, without shame, because you earned it. Remember, you are not behind. You are not too late. You are not broken. You are becoming. This is your time. This is your sign. This is your restart. Now go take your life back. The world will adjust, but first, you must begin. I'm with you always.